So today I'm going to make a beginner's guide for those of you that are deciding to play Archeland, whether it be in the global version or whether it be in the Korean version where you can get the game translated right now if you go through the PC client. That's how I'm playing it right now because it's not out on global, but if this does come out on global, this information will still be very useful unless they change some things around. Now, first and foremost, guys, what you're going to want to do is definitely complete your story just like any regular quest. You're gonna see your guy on the screen just like this in a miniature form, and then you just go around and you click onto the next icon, and it'll take you to either do the main quest or the side quest. But if you kind of get lost sometimes, you can zoom out and there's a lot of icons on the field, and if that causes confusion too, you can go ahead and click this right here, whatever episode you're in, and then you can click that and that'll actually take you directly to the next story quest that you have to do. Now, the reason why I say focus on story early on is because you want to unlock these dungeons that you're able to do for your equipment material, right? It's for you to level that up. For you can get runes, which is actually something you can put on your character, which helps them out. It's like an artifact system if you're coming from Genshin, or like, you know, that kind of a system. But I'll show you guys that here in a second. And then there's academy materials, which basically materials that you can use to buff up all your characters, passive attributes through that, which is also nice. Then gold obviously is, and then experiences for so you can level up your characters. Then we also have this equipment dungeon where you actually can go through it, but it costs stamina. It's pretty tricky. I would say push through most of the game, and if you do have some spare stamina, go ahead and throw it into the infinite dream. But I wouldn't say this doesn't really take priority until when you get more towards the mid-end game, just because I feel like the stamina is really not worth it early on. But if you do have spare stamina, go ahead and go at it. Now, the good thing about this is, guys, is that once you beat a boss, this is the equipment enhancement material, you actually don't have to fight them anymore. You'll actually have a certain amount of tries that you can use to basically skip the stage without you having to battle it, and it'll go ahead and farm your materials right away. So it'll give you a certain amount of tries, which will be right here, and you'll get 12 tries a day. Now, there'll be some days where you'll actually have a bonus depending on what dungeon that they're going to give you the bonus on. Most of the times they'll give you your first 2 tries, you'll get bonus loot. So keep an eye on that. It's always very helpful. Either way, I always do all my dungeons because you're going to need all of them, trust me. Now, if you run out of sweeps, that's what I'm just going to call it for now. You can actually go ahead and click here, and then you can use this icon right here, this purplish crest icon, and you can actually use that to regain a sweep. So each time you use one, you'll be able to sweep 1 stage. So yeah, this is pretty limited currency. So make sure if you're going to use it, it's for something that you really need. And then of course, this is your stamina right here, guys. And then every day as you do your dailies, you're going to be getting this lunch right here, which gives you 50 stamina. And they'll give you 2 of those per day if you do all your dailies and stuff. So let's say that you guys don't have this material here. It's fine. You guys can go ahead and get into the battle and then go ahead and just do the battle. When you go into these battles, you can go ahead and press consecutive battles and have it also hands off, and it'll be on auto, and it'll just keep farming until all your stamina is drained and you're out of stamina. Make sure you guys have the right character set up so you guys can go ahead and leave this on autopilot, and so it can go ahead and farm up those stages for you. Now, these are the runes that I was talking about, guys. It's kind of like a passive set, like a 2-piece, 4-piece bonus. That's what the rune system is for. And you take on big old bosses here in this stage. They get pretty tough towards the end game, but like I said, just try to clear what you can, and then go ahead and try to blitz those stages so you can keep farming them every day. Now, of course, the characters, you know, you guys are gonna have your SSR characters, your SR characters, and then your R characters, which is the lowest rarities here in the game. Now, early game, you do get a lot of materials to level up your characters, but once you get towards the mid-end game, it actually starts becoming a little bit more scarce. So I would say when you start the game, make sure you guys strengthen your SSR units, because the SSR units are the units that are going to be the strongest, right? They're like your equivalent to your 5-star characters in any other game. So make sure you guys focus on them first, just because their natural stats are just going to be higher than those of the SR or rare units. They're still really good. My main healer right now that I'm using is Lohannes, because he is my SR healer right now. I don't have an SSR healer, but he's still getting the job done, and his abilities are really good. So again, don't underestimate the SR units. They're still very usable. Now, if you see here, this is where you actually go ahead and you level up your units, and this is the material that you need to level them up, and you go ahead and feed that into them, and it'll level them up here. Now, another thing you want to take into account, guys, is there's going to be equipment and there's going to be specific weapons for your characters. I was lucky enough to get Charlotte's weapon, which is honestly one of the best characters in the game. I wish you guys good luck in trying to get her when you do start the game, if her banner is out, right? But in global, when the character does come out, she will have her own banner, so you guys will be able to pull for her right away once the game launches, if they don't change anything up again. Now these are your equipment, and this is my SR equipment. There is SSR equipment. I do have it on my tank right here, Gabriel. She's a beast. And as you guys can see, I have her fully leveled out as well. And like I said, all these equipments are gonna need specific materials right here, and it'll tell you how to get there. You just click on it, and then it'll tell you where it is that you gotta go to get this material. You press move, and it'll take you right to it, and then you can either choose to sweep it or farm it real quick. So, you know, just like any typical gacha, that's your gearing system. Of course, you want to have the SSRs and stuff and try to get your character's weapons, but to be honest, guys, having the character weapons is always helpful, of course, but I don't think it's necessary for you guys to have their weapon, because either way the character is very, very strong, and in all honesty, it's really hard to get everybody's weapons. Me myself, I don't have everyone's weapon as well. I still value the units very, very much, the ones that don't have it. I prioritize more getting the unit than the weapon, so I see getting the weapon extra cherry on top and stuff. Some weapons can actually be pretty busted, so yeah, there's that. Now, a quick thing, if you want to go ahead and just upgrade everyone's weapons all at one time, you can go ahead and click this button right here, collective reinforcement, and it'll level up everyone's weapons all at one time, so it won't be tedious you clicking on everything one by one. And then there's the talent tree, right? So early on in the game, when you start, you actually won't be able to fill out the entire talent tree the way you want, because you're going to have these emblems right here. Right now, that it's called the Stone of Pure Revelation. I don't know what it's going to be called when the global version comes out, but as you go through these nodes, you'll be able to unlock these small passive nodes. And then there's these nodes that give you abilities. Some are passives and some are actually just straight up abilities, and they do cost these stones, but these stones are actually very hard to come by, guys. So be very, very careful on the path that you choose to go early on, because once you choose a path, you'll actually stick in that line of path. That's the only way it'll connect, unless you come back down here and you use another Stone of Revelation to unlock it. And the way you get Stone of Revelation, I believe, is through every 5 levels you will get one, so that'll give you just enough to unlock the next ability. But like I said, you have to be very, very careful. So you want to make sure you go through the entire talent tree and see which is the best route for you to take for that character. All in all, once you get to the end game though, you will be able to fill out their entire talent tree, but early game to mid game, you will not have access to everything early on. So I emphasize, make sure you do your research and check out the character's talents and which abilities interest you or you think will be the most useful for that character early mid game. For example, I haven't unlocked this ability. It costs 1, and I have not got an extra one right here unless I use one of the extra ones that I've been farming since I've been playing the game. And I only have 4, guys, and I've been playing since the game has launched. So it's pretty hard, and I'm being very patient because I actually came back here and unlocked and used another Stone of Revelation. So now I'm kind of stuck waiting here to get another 5 levels. I believe every 5 levels you do get a Stone of Revelation automatically, and then I will be able to unlock this right here. So again, guys, be very, very careful. And last but not least, guys, the ultimate right here is always going to be at the far right, and you're not going to need a Stone of Revelation here, but you are going to need a decent amount of gold, and you're going to need a good amount of materials here, which actually get pretty difficult to farm later on in something called the Dimension. Now here's the rune system, guys, where you can actually put rune pieces on your characters, and if they match, they will get a set bonus. So like, for example, on my Gabriel, I have the 4-piece kite shield, which the 2-piece gives me 5% HP, and the 4-piece gives me 10% immunity to damage, which basically mitigation. And then we also have the 2-piece Ghost Knight, which will give us plus 5% HP. So again, just like every character, there's certain builds you want to mess around with and see and check which will fit best your character and stuff, and what's most optimal for that character. And of course, you know, you can actually go into rolling into these stats, which are pretty random, to be honest. So End game, you're going to be finding yourself trying to find the perfect substats for your character, but there's no such thing as perfect substats on these things because it's so random. So just try to fill out and put in the best you can and just try to work with what you got. And of course you can level these runes, and the way you can level these runes is by feeding runes into other runes, or getting this dust kind of thing that you can feed into the runes, which will help you level it up. And then it'll use, you can see I can level this up to 20. So let's go ahead and press that, use some of the dust, rune reinforcement, boom, level 20. And now we unlock the 4th slot. So every 5 levels you will unlock a substat, so that's very important. And most importantly, this is where you're gonna have your passive skills, guys. It's gonna be on the right hand corner where you can click on it. I never knew this early on until I finally figured out where their passives were. I was like, where's this ability coming from? And this is where it's at. And then some units have leader skills, not all of them. So make sure you guys keep an eye on that. Most of the time, leader skills just give you 10% stats across the board. And then it'll give you 15% extra on something like if you have enemies have 3 or less debuffs, you'll get 15% more damage or something like that. And then this is where your abilities are, guys. Now, these abilities you can swap in and out to your liking. You can change it around depending on the level you take, or just the abilities that's your favorite on the character, or whatever you think is best on them. But and keep in mind, guys, that you only have access to 5 of these diamonds, right? So every ability signifies how many diamonds it takes to use, and you can only equip 3 abilities on. So as you guys can see, these 3 abilities I have equate to 5 diamonds. But if I want to take this ability out, right, I have 1 diamond left that I can fill in. I can't put this one in that has this ability that costs 2 diamonds, so I can only actually put either one of these that cost the diamond right under, right? So keep that in mind. Same goes for these other abilities. So you kind of want to play around and see what you can come up with your character's abilities depending on the situation and the fight that you're going to take on. Also, you know, every character has their own weapon, right? So as you guys can see here, this is my Gabriel. She's a light unit tank, and she has a one-handed sword. Now, as far as the elemental system goes, guys, there's fire, there's water, there's lightning, which is green, not grass. I always still call it grass. And then there's light, which is strong against dark, but dark is not strong against light or any other units in the game. But because of that, their stats are increased just slightly because of that. It's very important, the elemental system, because in this game it's actually very, very important. As far as the summoning system, guys, there's going to be a lot of banners. Don't be overwhelmed. They do rotate a lot, but you're actually going to need a lot of units towards the end game. I have yet to see any limited units, so don't be, you know, right here, don't take for what this says. Actually, it doesn't actually mean limited. These characters just rotate in and out, but there's always 2 new characters that come out every month. And then once these characters are done, right, they actually go into the general pool, and you can go ahead and check out if they're in the pool here or not. But every time I've checked, they've always gone into this pool, and even right now they're in this pool. But what I'm trying to say is that they're not limited. They are in the pools, guys. They do come out with their rate banners, which makes it a lot easier to get them, but it becomes a little bit more randomized when they go into the other banners, right? And as far as how the summoning actually goes, if you don't pull your SSR in 90 pulls, the first one is 50-50, so you have a 50% chance of getting the banner unit. If not, on your next 90 pulls, if you haven't pulled the SSR, you will go ahead and get that unit that you were pulling for on that radar banner. Very, very similar to Genshin Impact. And as far as the weapon goes, you can actually pick which weapon you want, and then you can go ahead and click on the weapon and then start rolling. Now for the weapons, it's every 60 pulls. If you don't get the first weapon in the first try, which is a 50% chance, you also get the weapon in the second chance, which is a 100% chance. And this is how the currency looks, guys, right here. This is for the summoning, and this is for the equipment summoning. And this is your currency for for summoning and using it for stamina and stuff. Now you'll also have something here called the Promised Land, where you can actually work on towards getting your AFK rewards. But I think this is very important because you unlock a lot of things that help you dispatch units, where when you dispatch your units, you can actually go ahead and get shards of the unit. So it's basically a way of getting the duplicate of the unit. You need 60 shards in order to rank up that unit's passive, which is how the dupe system works in this game. And every time you do a daily mission, which resets every day, they give you one mission will give you 3 shards, which is very helpful. So always do your dailies, guys, and do that, because it's, like I said, it's very important. And always build this here, because this is also important. It gives you a lot of passive bonuses for your characters and a lot of goodies and stuff that you can do here for yourself as well. I mean, who doesn't like AFK rewards, right? You just leave it there and it works for you. So make sure you guys work on your promised land as well. And so this is going to be where you do your dailies here, guys. And once you do all these dailies, you will get a good amount of materials. These books give you XP for your account to level up faster and help you out and stuff. They give you some diamonds and stuff. And once you complete it, they also give you another 15 diamonds on top of that, which is very nice. So make sure you guys always do your dailies too when you can. And then they always come out with events here and there, so you can go ahead and take those on. Right now we have something called the Tower of Shadows, which is close to the mid-game area. You guys don't have to worry about this event early on. But yeah, they do come out with events, and they're pretty fun, honestly, and challenging as well. So be ready for that. Now, another thing, guys, they do have PvP as well. It's called, right here where I'm playing it, it's called Space Time Arena. You can either choose to pick whichever character you want, and then when you click on them, you can go ahead and press manual or automatic, depending on how you want to do it. If the enemy is too tough, you can go ahead and try to manual it. If you think you can go ahead and blow them by, you just do auto, or you just want to do auto, you can do that. But here's your power level on the left side. You'll be able to see it, and then you can see their power level, and then see if you can go ahead and match up with them. And then, of course, you know, you got your regular defenses and stuff, and then your seasonal rewards for accomplishments and stuff, and then you got your shop for buying stuff. And I'm actually going to go ahead and buy these right here because I haven't bought them, and the PvP store did reset. So now they do have real-time arena, but this unlocks later on, so you don't have to worry about this too much. And the reason I don't play it too much is because it's actually locked behind a certain time limit that you have to play the ranked mode. But they do have ranked mode, and then they do have the normal mode. This is the banner right here. And then you have your typical rank up system when you're going against other players and stuff. So it's really nice. And then you always get rewarded for your first time win a weapon summoning currency, which is also nice. So I don't do it much because of that reason, guys. I really focus more on the PvE. But if for those of you that really like the PvP and want to do some real-time battles against another real-time player, this is it. And there's a couple things you unlock in the mid-game as well, going towards the end game, which is called something Abyss, but your account has to be level 50, where you're going against a boss, where you can actually do a bunch of damage to them and try to climb up the damage charts and claim these rewards. But I don't want to overwhelm you guys too much. Basically, what you want to focus on is getting your units up, playing through the story, unlocking those dungeons, so you guys can go ahead and start farming those dungeons to help level up your get runes, your equipment material, experience, get gold and stuff. And that other dungeon, which I recommend not to do early on so much, the Infinite Dreams, which drops equipment, which is very nice, SSR equipment later on. But like I said, use your stamina accordingly on that. And then they do have the guild system, guys, here. Honestly, I don't really see too much with the guild system here. I hope they do start adding more stuff to it. I just come here and then I just press this button until I exhaust my currency that I can get from it every day, because there's only a certain amount of times I can do this. But this is all you're really going to be doing, and sometimes guildmates are going to request for support for some missions that they can't do. And then once you do all the missions and stuff, you go ahead and you just collect this, and that's about it. They do have a guild store as well, where you can use your currency on and buy some goodies there as well, so that's really good as well. But I hope they do add more stuff with the guild system. I think I covered everything, and you know, mostly the important stuff, I believe. But yeah, guys, this game I'm actually enjoying very, very much, and I'm really liking it, and I have been playing since the release, and I haven't stopped playing it. So for those of you that are new here and are interested in checking out Archeland, I wanted to make this beginner guide for you guys, so you guys can come in and make it, you know, a nice smooth sailing experience for you guys. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave a comment down below if you guys are going to be waiting for the global version, or if you're going to go ahead and just play the Korean version like I am right now. And there's also a way you can translate this, guys. So I'll leave a video to a link down below where how you guys can play this on your PC, where you guys can translate it. You could play it on your mobile device, but it won't be translated. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys subscribe, like the video if you like the video, share this around, and I'll see you guys in the next one. It's your boy Jada. I'm out. Peace.